Hello everyone, my name is Ittida Ishakridi. I am from International University of Malaya Wales. Today I'm gonna present the presentation about psychology and the topic is breathing related sleep disorder. I'll be sharing the treatment and the disorder. I'll be First of all I'll be talking about sleep. So, what is the definition of sleep? A condition of body and mind that typically recurs for several hours every night, in which the nervous system is relatively inactive. Eyes closed, the postural muscles relaxed and suspended. So that is called sleep. So sleep is very important for every person's. I think it is helps a person to remove their tension, narrowness, and it plays a vital role in their every schedule because sleep is a vital, often neglected component of every person's overall health and well-being. Sleep is important because it enables the body to repair and be fit and ready for another day. Getting adequate rest may also help prevent excess weight gain, heart disease, and increased illness duration. The breathing related sleep disorder is a sleep disorder in which abnormalities in breathing occur during sleep that may or may not be present while awake. The most common feature of any breathing related sleep disorder is interruption of the person's sleep, leading to excessive daytime sleepiness. When the regular nighttime sleep of individual is frequently interrupted, sleepiness at other times of the day is the usual result. People with breathing related sleep disorder often find that they feel sleepy during relaxing activities such as reading or watching a movie. With extreme cases, those with these conditions may feel so sleepy that they fall asleep during these activities. So, furthermore, the term breathing related sleep disorder refers to a spectrum of breathing anomalies ranging from chronic or habitual snoring to upper airway resistance syndrome to frank obstructive sleep apnea. And the obstructive sleep apnea is one of the most common and serious sleep related breathing disorder. In OSA means obstructive sleep apnea, the airway repeatedly collapses during sleep, causing lapses in breathing that both fragment sleep and affect the body's oxygen levels. So that is the definition of breathing related sleep disorder. And there are also four types of disorder. The first one is insomnia, second is central sleep apnea, third is sleep related hyperventilation, and the last one is narcolepsy. And here I have got classified the main point of this disorder. The first one is insomnia. So insomnia is a common sleep disorder that can make it hard to fall asleep, hard to stay asleep, or cause when you wake up too early and not be able to get back to sleep. You will feel tired when you wake up, and it is also included grumpiness, problems with concentration or memory. The second one is central sleep apnea. So, central sleep apnea is a disorder in which your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. Central sleep apnea occurs because your brain doesn't send proper signals to the muscles that controlling your brain. But you can have both kinds together, called mixed sleep apnea. Central sleep apnea usually happens because of a serious illness, especially one that affects your lower brainstem, which controls breathing. In every young babies, central sleep apnea causes pauses in breathing that can last 20 seconds. And it is also included shortness of breath that's relieved by sitting up, excessive daytime sleepiness, hypersomnia, snoring, lower tolerance for exercise. And the third one is sleep related hypoventilation. Hyperventilation is breathing that is too shallow or too slow to meet the needs of the body. If a person hyperventilates, the body's carbon dioxide level rises. This causes a buildup of acid and too little oxygen in the blood. A person with hyperventilation might feel sleepy, and it is also included in daytime fatigue, morning headaches, poor sleep quality, shortness of breath, and etc. The last one is narcolepsy. So, narcolepsy is a chronic sleep disorder characterized by overwhelming daytime drowsiness and sudden attacks of sleep. People with narcolepsy often find it difficult to stay awake for long periods of time, regardless of the circumstances. Narcolepsy can cause a serious disruption in your daily routine, and it is also included in sudden loss of muscle tone, sleep paralysis, hallucinations, changes in rapid eye movement, etc. And here we can detect the treatment for this disorder, and that may help people to relieve from this disease. So for this disorder one can do such things. First one is insomnia. Before insomnia treatment can begin, you should meet with a doctor or another credentialed physician to discuss symptoms and receive a diagnostic criteria for insomnia includes difficulty initiation or maintaining sleep, waking up earlier than desired, and resistance going to bed at a reasonable hour. These symptoms must occur for at least 3 months despite adequate opportunities for sleep on a nightly basis. Additionally, you must experience one or more of the following daytime symptoms to receive an insomnia diagnosis, such as impairments with memory, concentration, or attention. Stick to a sleep schedule. Keep your bedtime and wake time consistent from day to day, including on weekends. Stay active. Check your medications. Negative impacts on social, family, occupational, or academic performance. Irritability of disturbed mood. Excessive daytime sleepiness. Avoid or limit naps. Increased risk for errors and accidents. So this is the treatment for this disorder. The second one is central sleep apnea. So it is also included addressing associated medical problems, reduction of opioid medications. Reduction of opioid medications are causing your central sleep apnea. Your doctor may gradually reduce your dose of those medications. Next is continuous positive airway pressure. So this method also used to treat obstructive sleep apnea. Involves wearing a mask over your nose and mouth while asleep. CPAP is usually the first treatment given to central sleep apnea. The mask is attached to a small pump that supplies a continuous amount of pressurized air to hold open your upper airway. CPAP may prevent the airway closure that can trigger central sleep apnea. As with the obstructive sleep apnea, it's important that you use the device only as directed. If your mask is uncomfortable or the pressure feels too strong, talk with your doctor. Several types of masks are available. Doctors can also adjust the pressure. And the next is adaptive servo ventilation, and the last one is bilival positive airway pressure. So bilival positive airway pressure delivers pressure when you breathe in, and a different amount of pressure when you breathe out. The BPAP can also be configured to deliver a breath if you haven't taken a breath within a certain number of seconds. BPAP code worsens central sleep apnea in people with the heart failure. Be sure to talk to your doctor about the potential risk of BPAP. If your doctor is considering this therapy and you have heart failure. So this is the treatment for this two disorder. The third one is the hyperventilation. So for hyperventilation disorder, one can do such things like oxygen therapy to support breathing, weight loss, CPAP or BIPAP machine to keep your airway open while sleeping, surgery to correct a chest deformity. The last one is narcolepsy. So it's included stimulants. Drugs that stimulate the central nervous system are the primary treatment to help people with narcolepsy stay awake during the day. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors or serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. Talking frequent brief naps, space them evenly throughout the day. Or a sleep specialist can help you help you plan a schedule that fits in with your other activities. Sticking to a strict bedtime routine. Aim to go to bed and wake up at the same time, every day whenever possible. Relaxing before going to bed. Have a warm bath. For example, ensuring you have a good sleeping environment. For example, keeping your bedroom at a comfortable temperature, quiet and free from distractions. Avoiding caffeine, found in coffee, tea and some fridge drinks. Alcohol and smoking before you going to bed. Not exercising too close to bedtime. Leave at least 2 hours between finishing exercise and going to bed. Not eating large, heavy meals before going to bed. So if anyone maintaining these rules properly, I think they will relieve from this disorder. And here I can also add some current statistics of this disorder, and here we can show how men and women are suffering from this disorder. There are some several percentage from this disorder, and we can show and you can understand it clearly about this disorder. References. I also add some references from this disorder to better understanding. I have found it from Google, and here in the Google there are many other websites, and I choose this one. This one is American Academy of Sleep Medicine, International Classification of Sleep Disorder, www.ncbi.nln.nih.gov. Eckhart DJ Malhotra, a pathophysiology of adult obstructive sleep apnea. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.